Week 15, Dolphins versus Bills, a crazy divisional matchup on primetime, and it's going to be a snow game, going to be a fun game to watch. But the Dolphins are now on the verge of being 8-6 after this game. Just a couple weeks ago, we were sitting here at 8-3 with potentially winning the division or even being the one seed in the AFC. But like I said, with the loss, we'd move to 8-6, and now just hoping to make the playoffs. But a big time game. I'm really excited for this. I don't have many high hopes, but I'm always down to pull off the upset. With the injury report, unfortunately a bit long today. Eric Rowe is going to be out, so we'll be down to safety. I don't know who the secondary starter is going to be because Eric Rowe was already our backup. Obviously with Brandon Jones going down earlier in the season, so it'll obviously be Javon Holland back there. And the other guy could very well be Verone McKinley. So the Oregon teammates, former Oregon teammates, could now be the starting safety duo in the Dolphins secondary. So we'll see what happens with that. Elijah Campbell also going to be out, so another corner going down in the secondary. Craycraft is going to be doubtful for this game, so another receiver down. And Teddy Bridgewater is going to be questionable. Hopefully that shouldn't really matter. But the big ones, Teron Armstead going to be questionable, listed as questionable with that pec injury, obviously. But he did say he was going to play, and whatever he says goes. So Teron Armstead is going to play, not too worried about that. But to me, could potentially be a game changer. Jeff Wilson is also questionable after going down early with the hip injury last week versus the Chargers. I'm really praying he can play. From what we've been hearing, it's looking like it's going to be a game time decision. I'm really, obviously McDaniel said, he's a warrior, going to do whatever he can to play. Like I said, he can really be a game changer because this could easily be a committing to the run game, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. He could definitely be a huge factor in this game. I think he will be if he plays, and if he doesn't, he's going to be a factor anyway. So I'm really hoping that Jeff Wilson can play. If not, it'll be the Raheem Mostert legacy game. So we'll see what happens with that. And on the Bills side, Ryan Bates, their starting guard, is going to be out too. Jordan Phillips, he will be out on the D line, but they're going to have a lot of the guys that they didn't have in the Week 3 game back for this game. Cole Beasley, the Bills just signed a couple days ago. I think Hull probably plays Saturday. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Gabe Davis and Dawson Knox were partly, they were banged up in that game. I think that Jordan Poyer is going to be back, or I think Poyer is going to play. They'll have Trey White. Matt Milano is going to play too. It's going to be a really tough game, and it's going to be, like I said, a crazy snow game as well. I'm really looking forward to this game. If there's one game that I had to pick before the season started that I would probably bet money, obviously would never bet money for the Dolphins to lose. But if I had to put money on a game that the Dolphins would lose, it would probably be this game. I wasn't too worried about the Dolphins going up to Buffalo last season because they played them in week 6, I'm pretty sure, which was obviously earlier in the season. But late in the season, it's mid-December. I'm recording this December 15th. The game's on December 17th. It's towards the end of the actual year, and obviously it's freezing up there. Gonna be a big-time snow game. Tua, I don't think he's really even had a snow game in his career. Sure, he's maybe played in the snow, practicing and stuff, but I think this is the first actual snow game. We remember what happened in Tennessee last year. We remember what happened in Buffalo 2 years ago. Those were the two basically only cold games in his career. And both of those games were the games that decided whether the Dolphins got into the playoffs or not. It's either win and you're in or lose and go home. The Dolphins had 6 other teams that had to win. 6 other teams that we only needed one of them to win, and they all lost. So we basically got snubbed in 2020, but it's whatever. In 2020, obviously, we remember what happened with that, nearly making that historic comeback after the 1-7 start. But if we do not make the playoffs this season after starting 8-3, you know how pathetic that would be. We definitely need to. I might make a video after this game at some point next week because there's a website showing all the different scenarios that would happen if the Dolphins win or lose this game, how their schedule plays out and stuff. We have obviously this game against the Bills on Saturday. Next week, we have the Packers on Christmas Day. The following week in Foxborough against the Patriots. We'll see, obviously, how the cold works in this game first to put the focus on that one. And then the season finale at home against the Jets. So I would say 3 winnable games other than this one coming up. But it's definitely not an easy schedule, and you're probably going to have to win at least 2 of those games. And it's not looking like it's going to be the one that this preview's about. But yeah, I'm really scared of this team, and like I know that we beat them in week 3, but like I said, they didn't have most of their guys. It was down here when everyone was burning and cramping up. And now you got to go up there to their home game, to their home field. And I know that they're not used. I mean, they are used to it, but they don't play every day in the 15-degree weather. But I'll get right into the 5 things the Dolphins need, or 4 things I have the Dolphins need to do to win this game. Number 1, run the ball. Run the ball, please. Commit to the run. And this goes with the play calling. The play calling I actually have next, so I'll kind of combine these two. Number 2, I have the play calling. The play calling needs to be on point, and a huge part of the play calling that has not been good in the past 2 weeks is the running game. I think a total of 8 carries for Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson in week 13 against the Niners, and last week against the Chargers, they barely had any more. I want to say like a 13 combined carries. I know Jeff Wilson was injured, but that's when you got to feed the ball to Raheem Mostert. He wasn't even having that bad of a rushing game. And hey, I mean, one of the runs to Jeff Wilson, he fumbled it, and Tyreek Hill ran it for 70 yards. So maybe the run game is supposed to work. But like I said, that's why I'm saying that Jeff Wilson is going to be a game changer, because obviously if he's not playing, Raheem Mostert is the number 1 priority for the Bills, especially in the run game. And we saw what the Chargers were able to do last week, taking away the middle of the field, and that's where the Dolphins have gone priority this season, especially in the RPO game, which is what they mainly run. So I'm really interested to see how the Bills are gonna adjust their defense to play against an offense like the Dolphins have. I know Tua has not been on point. I know a lot of the mistakes has not really been his fault, but of course it's gonna go on to him because of the completion percentage, whatever. But there has been a lot of times where people say it's not Tua's fault when it really is. People don't really know when it is or not. But for the keys to the game, number 1, run the ball, please. Like I said, Raheem Mostert needs to get these carries, and Jeff Wilson, hopefully, if he plays, he should too. And even throw Ahmed or Gaskin, whoever plays out of those 2 running backs, as the 3rd guy. And number 2, like I said, combined, the play calling needs to be on point. Mike McDaniel, run the ball. Please, run the ball. It's cold out there. Tua is not going to be completely on point. I'm hoping he is, but we'll see what happens. And number 2, contain Josh Allen. Please. We know the number 1 thing the Dolphins have trouble playing against is dual threat quarterbacks, and Josh Allen is literally the definition of a dual threat quarterback. He's the 2nd best quarterback in the NFL behind Patrick Mahomes, and he can do it all. He can launch the ball 70 yards downfield. He can also run for 70 yards, taking 10 defenders with him. It's what he does best. The Dolphins can never seem to sack him for some reason. That's why the pass rush has to be on point. Bradley Chubb was nowhere to be seen last week. In the Niners game, he was a bit better, but in the Chargers game, he was just nowhere. Never see him doing well. He was always getting stopped by these backup tackles, which was annoying to watch. Jalen Phillips, on the other hand, was having himself a monster game. He's probably the best player on this pass rush. Like he may be better than Bradley Chubb. And for Christian Wilkins, he needs to have another monster game too. Like I said, with Ryan Bates being out, I know that they still have most of their guys on the line, but you need to dominate, get to Josh Allen, make him roll out of the pocket, but that is when his best plays appear to happen. But whatever it is, just force Josh Allen to make stupid throws. He does that a lot, especially in the red zone. He has not been consistent at all this season. So maybe you can get a couple turnovers. I'm praying for at least 1 turnover. And of course, in the red zone, you're going to want to stop them. And also for the Dolphins to be efficient in the red zone. We have been efficient all year, but there's so many times where there's a stupid play call. I'm talking about on offense where we run the ball like at the. It's just it's the little things that cause the Dolphins to lose. And for example, on defense in the red zone, when it's a third and goal from the 17-yard line, don't put 8 of your defenders in the goal line. I don't know what Josh Boyer is thinking, but he's facing the end of his career in Miami. And number four, sorry, last one, protect Tua, help him out. The O-line needs to protect him. Watching the Jets-Bills game last week, before the Chargers game, it scared me. Mike White was getting obliterated out there. He got his ribs crushed like 4 different times. Matt Milano just destroyed him multiple times. So we're going to need to help him out. They're going to bring the blitz. You're going to have to find the dump-off passes. And when Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill go on those out routes and you don't have time to throw them the ball, you're going to need to switch the play calling, which is where that comes in for Mike McDaniel. Switch the play call, shorter passes, give Tua more time to throw the ball. And if he does need to get the ball out fast, then you have guys open, short, close to where Tua is. And helping him out. Do not get your eyes lost with the lights, just like what happened to both of our star receivers last game. And you got to catch the ball to multiple drops that have gone against Tua's completion percentage, which people are going to say is all his fault. They obviously don't know that it's not. But yeah, it's going to come down to, here it is, the score prediction. I'm going with 2017 with the Dolphins pulling off the upset. I'm really looking forward to this game. I don't have many high hopes. I'm not too confident that we're going to win this game, unfortunately. If the Dolphins were able to win last week, even if it was ugly, I would have had better hopes. But based off of the performances that we've been seeing from this offense the past 2 weeks, the defense has not even been playing that bad, especially considering the positions that they've been put in. But I mean, if the offense can maybe get together, Tua can actually put together the season that he's been having and be a consistent quarterback, maybe this team will have a chance. But like I said, I'm hoping for an upset. I'm hoping for a Mike McDaniel masterclass. I'm hoping for Tua to do what he's been doing, at least like mid-season. But yeah, 20-17 is my score prediction. The Bills are 7-point favorites, which is what I was looking for. I think the Dolphins can cover that. Last thing I'm hoping for is a blowout. But either way, that'll wrap up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day. Peace.